Hey everybody, Prepper for the Ages here again, talking about hospicing someone that is elderly. This could be applied in a grid down situation, but it's mainly for people who have no idea how to hospice somebody who is at the end stages of life. I'm talking a little bit about my personal experience hospicing and what it took and the way I approached it. When last we left our intrepid adventure, my dad had gotten out of the hospital. He was diagnosed with multiple myeloma. His blood levels were all off, and he spent 3 days in the hospital. They got his levels corrected with all these medications. They told him about multiple myeloma, and they gave us an appointment with a cancer specialist, an oncologist next door. So we met with the oncology person, and what I was doing is I had a notebook. This is my calendar, but I got a notebook, I got a pen, and I went to every appointment. When he was in the hospital, I got a notebook, I got a pen. Everything they were saying and every medication he was on, I was writing down date, time, who was talking, or they were, little. They give you cards. So here's a little card from them. Write down the information, and it's because 3 days after a doctor's appointment, you don't really remember all of the stuff that they said. So I was writing it all down, and I was partly writing it down because my brother lives 2,000 miles away, and he's actively wants to know what's going on. And so I would write everything down, everybody that came in, what they said, their recommendations, the medications, what's supposed to happen. And so it was the same thing for seeing the oncologist. And the oncologist gave us a good ballpark of what was going to happen. You can't recover from multiple myeloma. You can just take the medications and stave it off a bit. But since my dad hadn't been diagnosed until really late, he had a lot of voids in his bones, so the bones were very brittle. And so she gave us the outlook, which was, we can only stave it off. We can't cure it. So we set up so that he didn't want to be in the bedroom. He said, but he didn't want to be in the bedroom. He wanted to be where everybody was. So he was sleeping on the couch, and I wanted to make sure that I was close to them. So I ended up sleeping on the floor in the living room. He wanted to on the couch in the living room. I was on the floor. I didn't want to leave him alone because I know that he needed help during the night. And so I used to be a nurse's aide, so I would help him. I was exhausted. I was going from my house, and I had dogs, I had cats, I had chickens. I was going from my house. No, I was going in the morning after almost no night of sleep, helping them. I was driving an hour to my house, taking care of the dogs, the cats, the chickens. The dogs were with me. So the dogs would go to daycare. The cats I would feed and water, make sure they're okay. I would make sure let the chickens out for the day. I would go to work, spend time at work, come back, put the chickens in at night, feed the cats, make sure everything was okay, pick up the dogs from doggy daycare, and go back to my parents' house for the night. And so I did that for a year. Um, I think in retrospect there are services that can help you, and uh, uh, things that can happen. There, ask about the services. So in my state, with this kind of healthcare my parents had, a nurse could have come in to help, or a nurse's aide. Nurse's aides are good help, so that I could have actually functioned better. I was going really without a lot of sleep, and that's one of the things that I would recommend is get help early on. And I didn't. I was like, no, I can do this. Get help early on. After a while, we canceled the physical therapy because he has multiple myeloma. There's no getting better. It's not a muscle thing. Um, it was the cancer, and he wasn't going to get stronger. So we canceled the physical therapy, and all it was is like for 15 minutes they would have him do this and they would have him do this. So you have to gauge whether the physical therapy is going to be at all helpful. So we did that for a year. And he was in and out of the hospital a couple of more times because his blood levels would get off and they would have to fix the blood levels in the hospital. So he was in and out for a year. So let me wrap this up right now and do a little bit more in the next segment about when your loved one realizes that they're going to die. And that was something that came up really suddenly, and something that I had to deal with. Okay, Prepper for the Ages, signing out for now.